sort of heavy at this stage, but it alternates, depending on how he feels. His energy levels, we just began to implement our cardio regimen and drop his carbs a little bit low. Nothing too drastic. He doesn't hold much fat. It's just a lot of water right now. And at 308 pounds, his condition, at this stage is exactly where it needs to be. The contest is not next week. It's not in 2 weeks from now. It's in 8 weeks. We have more than enough time to peak perfectly, the day that it requires to peak. So sometimes you have a lot of athletes looking great 2 weeks before the show, 6 weeks before the show, but it's about, getting the work done at this moment to be productive on that day. So right now we're starting with the bench press movement.
Yeah, this warm-up is excellent, man. I mean, kind of after doing. It's kind of instructed us to do some flies, before climbing under. So we're doing kind of like it's almost like a compound set, not actually a superset because
the pre-exhaust.
Yeah, the pre-exhaust, the muscles, you can work under the bench. As we all know, Kai Green trying to bring up his chest for the Olympia. So here we go.
After the Arnold, we wanted to take some time to rest and recuperate and clean out his system a little bit so we can make some gains in a short off season before the Olympia, and focus basically on the basic movements. I mean, if you work for Lee Haney, you work for Dorian Yates, you work for Ronnie Coleman, they all have massive chests, always focusing on the basic movements, bench press, incline press, dumbbell presses, and flies. Just a matter of being consistent and going heavy and allowing the body to recover and grow, and then doing it all over again. Combine that with a high-protein diet and rest. We really wanted to make sure that this year his chest, his shoulders are very dominant, especially the most muscular and the front lat spread. So you'll definitely see a much more improved Kai. Our goal has always been to always outdo what he's done before. So, this Kai Green will definitely, be blowing away the Kai Green of the Arnold, just like the Kai Green of the Arnold blew away the Kai Green of the New York Pro, and always improving and getting better. It's not it's not body maintenance, it's bodybuilding. So always, continue to strive to improve in all fronts, psychologically, nutrition, and training. So as you can see right now, he's warming up with 3 plates, getting ready for the heavy resistance to come.
Well, I've said on numerous occasions, I've introduced Oscar and described him as, my mentor, training partner, and coach. Technically, I think for the first time, the audience is getting a sneak peek opportunity to kind of like, be the fly on the wall in some respect and kind of, get a picture of what that looks like. And this is that opportunity. This is a gym that we, very interestingly enough, started out at. Oscar trained here as a teenager, and moved around and moved on. I too, when I met Oscar, went down here and trained here as a teenager, so yeah, worked at the gym, had to mop the floors at one point, and doing the mirrors at the gym, and ate at the gym, and tanned at the gym, trained at the gym. Spent a lot of time as a gym rat at this gym and others. Yeah, at some point we were able to graduate and get out there to Steve and Bev.
Powerhouse gym. Yeah, but sometimes it's a long commute, by the time we get there and then traffic coming back. We would love to train there more consistent, but it's the drive to and from, it takes about 2 or 3 hours off the day, but, it's definitely worth whoever wants to go train.
Absolutely.
Well, I think there's a need for all type of equipment. However, for the type of goal that we're trying to achieve and accomplish, I believe, always taking the most efficient route, nutrition-wise, training-wise. And in developing the chest tissue, yeah, you have a lot of hammer strength machine and this shiny, fancy new machine made by this other company, but nothing beats the basics. When it comes to squatting for legs, bench pressing or incline pressing for chest, and that's what we focus on. It seems to have been working, so if it's not broken, we don't fix it. So we always strive to maintain with the basic movements and go freaking heavy. And eventually, when you go this heavy, as in 5 plates right now, a lot of the chest is being utilized, the shoulders, the triceps, and just stabilizing the weight as it goes up and down, which you really can't do if you do it in hammer strength. So there's it's harder. It's harder to squat free weight. It's easier to do in assist machine and leg presses. So that's why you don't see a lot of people squatting 4 or 5 plates for 20 reps when they can do it in a Smith machine. It's a lot easier, but we're not trying to make it easier. I'm trying to make it harder. Whenever you make an exercise harder, you make it better because the muscle has to work that much more hard to bring the weight up, and therefore breaks it down, and through nutrition and rest builds it up stronger than ever.
I believe in listening to my guru/coach/mentor/training partner. Yeah, I just believe in getting it all done any way that it possibly can be done.
So you Ronnie Coleman? No, do I believe in strip sets? Yeah, at times, we do that. The other times that we do rest pause, whatever it takes to get the job done, intensity could be described in many different ways. This is one way to make it intense and to fatigue the chest muscle before we move over to inclines. But there are times that we go to 5 plates and we rest pause, do another 2 reps, rest pause. Eventually he gets 10 or 12 reps with that, and he gets fried. So it depends. So sometimes we do strip sets, and sometimes we do something else. There's no right one way to skin a cat. There's no wrong way to develop the physique. You find instinctively what works best for you, and you stay with that regardless if the whole world's against you. You do it, and if you believe it and you see results, you stay with it.
I don't want to bore the fans out there with the fact of the matter is a lot of times it's just not as awesome, I guess, in actual application as it may sound in theory. Reality is I eat pounds and pounds of meat a day. That's the fact. Sometimes we're cycling up right now. Chances are before we get to the event, we may be just doing another experience of we've done as much as 9 or 10 pounds of fish and steak, going into events. I know some guys can't do that. Some people may believe that's impossible to do. I don't want to set limits for other people, and a lot of times when you talk specifically about what you do, you can help other people set limitations on what they can, so it's just real important to be able to understand that, man, you're working real hard to be a pro athlete at this level, working really hard to be able to best represent the ideas that my mentor and my training partner would expect for me to do and represent our camp and represent, Team MD, represent Muscle Meds. Muscle Meds wants me to come out there and look like the dude that is doing what he is supposed to do behind the scenes. So, you better believe that if I say that I'm taking my carnivore, I'm doing it. You better believe that if I say that I'm taking my, methyl burn, then I'm going to do that. If I'm taking my inoxide, then I'm going to do it. But I'm doing it with the end result in mind, and that result is being able to get out there at the Olympia stage 2009 this year, and do what we came there to do.
But, since the Arnold, to put on more size, a lot of people maybe, wanting to, this could be a forum for people to be educated and learn, as we were once fans of the sport and coming up in the sport, and what a pro athlete at this level does, from the Arnold to the Olympia prep. Our main goal was to put on thickness and